LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga was released in 2022 after 2 extra years of development to fix bugs and make it stable. Some bugs were patched, but after some updates, other bugs came up and here goes. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga may be the greatest free-run experience we have ever had from TT games. The environment is wonderful, the audio sounds incredible, the character design is really good, and the animations are quite fluid. It may be difficult at the first time to get used to how you can allow perform certain animations or actions, but to play the game for some hours you can adapt to the new controls. In this video, I'm going to analyze how the game is as follows. In the lower left corner, you will see a total fails counter. Each fail fan will add 1 to that counter, while for each success, 1 will be deducted from the counter. So to give the game some leeway, we deduct from the counter the number of bugs that have been fixed. We count as bugs going out of bounds using the spaceships we used to fly. They also patched the widescreen bug I had when I was playing for the first time the game on stream. Boss Vader, the Darth Vader model used in full feature testing level, can no longer be glitched into the normal game, but using mods we can. So we are gonna do 2. 1 for have kept him the same in the files, and 2 for have fixed the issue. The clown bug was fixed by turning it into an extra. I mean, it is not really fixed, but in any case we are gonna deduct 2 from the counter. Also the beasts from Battle of the Jedi level have been fixed, so when you defeat them, they don't start flying. Pretty cool fix. Before getting into the bugs of the game, I would like to talk about the playability. I have a new game mode called No Free Play Mode. Which is this game mode about? It's the game mode in which you are literally on free play, but the game forces you to play it on story mode, so that the level can continue as it should. I think this is probably important, because if you really want someone to be able to play a level in free play, then why force them to only play it on story mode? It seems like the case of Pod Race, the original Pod Race of the complete saga, in which it can only be played in story mode because if another ship was used instead of the Pod Race, it could potentially break the level, so they created the new version of Pod Race on free play mode on that game. Furthermore, not only one level was affected, there are over 20 levels of the 45 of the game that cannot be played totally or partially in free play. But this doesn't end here. In story mode, it is possible to play certain missions such as negotiations or Order 66. But because it is on free run, those missions cannot be played again, except if I decided to start a new game. It doesn't make sense because it is very easy to copy-paste an already created section or level and change it the way it is played, since the level in which we play negotiations is a pre-level. It is not an event that happens on the free run level. It is a pre-level. So if there are 2 separated levels, why don't add the pre-levels as levels too, and then you will have more than 45 levels. I didn't like this choice, so it's an important fail, but double. I also saw that many people complained that the game did not have a character customizer, but if we remember LEGO Star Wars the video game, the first LEGO game created by TT Games, that game didn't have a character customizer because it was the first game created in the TT Games engine at the time, so I don't mind this at all. But for the next one, it should have a character customizer. Now moving into bugs. Let's start in Better Call Mode level. Every game uses invisible walls to avoid players going to certain areas that they cannot go, and the same happens here. In this level there are some invisible walls at the beginning that don't let you continue to the rest of the level until you defeat more. But those invisible walls cannot stop me from going under them to avoid them and go to the rest of the level. This is not the only case, cause if we go to the strength to doing level, the second section, we can realize there are invisible walls everywhere to avoid us falling into the water. But if we decided to pile up some level objects, we can avoid them as well. And also, before even start the boss fight of the level, if you don't continue and you go to the right, you will be able to skip the entire section if needed and never trigger the boss fight. Continuing with Better Call Mall, there's a way to skip many parts of the mall duel and some of them would even end up in sub-blocks, like on this case. But the worst case of sub-blocks comes next. I never completed Dooku boss fight level on free play, so I decided to try it. We made 4 favorite chapters. So when it came to the part the lights go out, Dooku never respond back due to the story chapters not being set on free play mode. But this isn't the worst case of them all. We go to Revelations level, the level in which we fight Darth Vader on Cloud City. We start in no free play mode, but when it comes to the second part of the boss fight, we can change chapters. So I decided to set up different chapters, and guess what happened? The cutscene played, but Vader never respawned. In the second attempt, I kept the original loop from the story mode, and when I was proceeding to continue the level, I was in loop, and due to that, the level got soft-locked, with an invincible and not moving Vader, Ghost Vader. And you can infinite hit him without hoping the level to continue or him die. 0 out of 10, double fail. Moving to the Droid Factory level, I wanted to skip the Renaissance fight at the beginning and go visit 3PO and R2-D2, but I failed to do that, and when the game was gonna put me in a safe location, when I failed, it decided to keep putting me in the same location I failed, getting stuck possibly infinitely there. Shame, shame. Star Wars are sometimes unpredictable in terms of bugs. Last day I was visiting Luke's island and I wanted to try out the water near this rock, and for whatever reason, the game wasn't able to know if I was too deep in the water or not, and left my chapter stuck and nervous in a really funny pose, to be honest. But apart from that, I continued investigating on the island, and I found a place in which if I stay too longer in the water, I can see out of bounds. Related with Hogwarts are the doors that lead us to different locations on them that are separated from the normal level, like small rooms or something like that. At first I thought the game reloaded the area we were in and then loaded the other area, but due to this glitch, we can see the other area loaded with the chapters I had in that moment, and this one didn't get reloaded, so I assume the game makes a copy of the chapters I have in that moment and leaves the original ones in the other level for when I decide to come back. This is for the small levels like Canto by Casino, but in Coruscant that's different and the area unloads while loading the next one. Pretty good discovery, but I was never supposed to find out how the game works. But I don't know really if it works like this. Wait, they changed the loading screen, but why? I mean, the old loading screen worked, why change it?
Strips! Top shelf kibbie strips! Make your own boards and sliders with these kibbie strips.
Oh, the subtitle didn't fit on. Okay, another one to the list.
Some levels of Episode 3 are broken, especially all the boss fights of Episode 3. In the first two ones, there are some times in which the game changes your chapter to the one of the story, reloading your chapter instantly and leaving its lightsaber floating in the middle of the area, that will stick there until you end the level. And there is a bigger problem with this level. For whatever reason, when I enter this black area, in which the clones of the door is spawned, the FPS drops to even 5 FPS, which I don't honestly really understand being a black hole. Going to Anakin boss fight level, the level seems linear at the beginning, but after they activate the shield, everything starts getting worse. The first chapter is turned into Obi-Wan Kenobi again and goes to fight Anakin, and this can be even soft-locked. Also, you can bypass the invisible wall by using the Force in one of the chapters and put it in the area in which Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting. Also, if you are good enough, you can make one of your partners go under the lava and stay there until the final boss fight is triggered. Too many invisible walls, but they aren't good enough to stop me. Now moving to boarding party, there are two glitches on this level. One is a soft lock, in which if we force push this movable object, it will make us unable to complete the segment. And then the other bug is what I call the Antilles bug. If you decided to kill all the rebel troopers that are wandering around, and also one of the scared ones, and then you decided to bring the other scared one into action, the game will get confused and will change all your partners to Captain Antilles. No fail for this, I found this hilarious.
Ambassador, shall we begin negotiations?
Also, because of this bug, there are some times that one of the chapters can get stuck behind the door. And you can see how they just use a red lightsaber for the cutscene. Now moving to stay on target level and no free play mode level, if you get to avoid the collision of the walls, you would unload the entire level or even across it. This would be easily fixed by simply adding an invisible wall all over the place. Then let me try this again. But it doesn't end here. For some reason, when I skipped the outro cutscene, the game crashed for no apparent reason. And when I restarted the game, it didn't keep the progress I made. Two fails. Moving to the Cloud City Escape level, some things were changed here, but I don't know why. When you start the level, you get unchangeable Chewbacca and 2 more chapters. Once I started changing chapters, I noticed how 2 of them got blocked for no apparent reason. When I changed it to them, I realized they were out of bounds and falling. And when I decided to change to Vader, he was inside the wall and he fell too. I wasn't even trying to make this glitch happen, but well, I cannot miss something like this. Also, it seems the playability on this level has been changed, because when you go back to an area in which you kill all the stormtroopers, they are there again, waiting for you. The same thing happens for the Imperial officer that has the card. When you kill him and you go back to where he started, he gets spawned again and invincible. But it gets worse. If you go near the Falcon, you will trigger the final event in which Chewie will have to fix the Millennium Falcon. And then you cannot go back to the inside of the building. But if you use the Force in one of their chapters, you can move it to the inside and stay there all the time you want. With the time, game will even refuse to not let you go back and will do nothing. 0 out of 10, triple fail. They fixed the issue in which we will get stuck in Kylo Ren's boss fight if we weren't the story chapters. Episode 8 doesn't seem to have bugs. Oh wait, I spoke too soon.
This is fine. You're right over there!
Don't worry about me.
And I think that was it. Alright, so there was a total of 33 failed, and the game is playable. To be honest, I'm pretty happy about how the game currently is and all the work they have done so far, but they should fix those issues to make it even more enjoyable, cause the no free play mode thing is something that might really bother people like me, and the many soft locks I can cause by just doing something different that isn't scripted. Just to say, this video was made with the intention of help TT Games and their developers to improve the game and also to improve the next game they are developing at the moment. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.